Good morning. Yes, I am. No, it's good
Thank
afternoon.
you. It's good afternoon for us this side. Yes, thank you very much. So, like I've indicated, colleagues, we live in the digital age. If you want to know who Christa is, Christa Morrison, go on LinkedIn and Google. You'll find all you need to know about Christa. Christa, and I know that Christa is also on social media. I don't know whether she's still on Twitter, but you can go and check Christa wherever she is. So she's going to talk about AI, and it's the talk and the buzzword now, and with Chat GTP. So we don't know what's in Christa's hands today. Christa, we're all yours. So it's artificial intelligence and higher education. And Christa, we have 20 minutes for you. The floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the warm welcome. I hope you're all doing really well. And so let's get this show started. I'm going to share my screen. Selecting the correct window. And please just give me a moment here to start the presentation. Move a few things around so I can see the presentation as well as the chat yeah, perfect. Now I can see everything. So yes, what can we talk about within 20 minutes with such a big topic, artificial intelligence and higher education? Well, what I want to leave you with today is that we're in this together. And the key word is together. So what I'm going to try and do in this presentation, I'm first going to just go through some key terminologies. Then I'm going to look at a few current use cases of artificial intelligence in higher education. And I'm not trying to cover everything from admin to research to teaching to learning, but just a few snapshots to, I think, show us where we are in this whole timeline of AI in higher education. Then I'm going to look at a few examples of intelligent apps that we are already using in higher education for a while. Then I just want to stand still with, policies and ethics. And then, of course, I'm going to leave you with questions, but also with connections because we're in this together. So the first thing I want all of us to think about is our human limitations. We only have so much time in a day, 24 hours, maybe 16 awake. We only have limited spaces where we can communicate with each other, where we can collaborate, where we can go to school, where we can learn from, whether it's online, HyFlex, or on campus. Our own computation power in terms of, our intelligence is very limited. Fortunately, we have people with more computation power than others. And I don't put myself in the first category. And then, of course, in terms of communication, there's only so much that we can do in terms of what we understand of all the languages we speak, how we interpret the world around us. On top of this, humans also have cognitive, visual, auditory, tactile, and motor limits on the quantity and the quality of information that we can process. So let's think about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence applies advanced analysis and logic-based techniques, including machine learning, to interpret events, support and automate decisions, and take actions. Synthetic media. I've gone over this yesterday as well. This is really important to understand that synthetic media or generative media refers to any media created or modified by AI. This includes image, audio, speech, media, natural language, coding, and music generation. And I also want to talk about immersive learning environments. If you go through the EduCourse Teaching and Learning report that was released in the last month, then you'll notice that it's not only AI, but these immersive technologies are also going to play a huge role. And with the help of AI, we are going to make use of a lot more variety of techniques and software tools, simulation-based learning and virtual 3D worlds. And I'll give you a taste of that today. So this paper was published earlier this year, and I was also fortunate to attend a discussion by the authors in December 2022. And they basically look at all the research that we've published up until the end of last year in terms of AI and higher education. Now, as you can see, there are specific themes that stand out. And then, of course, there are a lot of themes that we know does not appear yet in research. And there's a huge gap in terms of AI and assessment. Talking about how we are together, I think it's also important to think about where the research is coming from and how we analyze it, where our learning content is coming from and how we choose it. Because this is one area where AI can really help us decolonize learning and research. We are now at the point where we can, when we select research papers and literature studies, etc., don't have to only look at research that was published in English. We can easily translate, we can easily find more content, more knowledge to include. And then, of course, what happened? So after they published that paper with a good summary, then AI became really personal. And personal in this point, I mean like a personal assistant. So with generative AI, we talked about this yesterday, but now we have chatbots, we have co-pilots, we have coaches, whether it's to help you improve your writing abilities, whether it is to create a website from scratch. There's a lot of work that we can do now. We can raise the bar of the work that we could have done before by using these large language models and the tools we get with that. But then, of course, we already know that there are a lot more challenges that we're facing now. Plagiarism, privacy concerns, copyright, biases, literacy, the threat to democracies, if information can be generated and distributed in ways like never before. And of course, I have huge mental health concerns about this type of AI. So here is a few of the immersive use cases. All of these technologies are being used at McMaster University, where I work, in various courses. So I'm just going to give you a taste of a few of them. You can see there's a lot of interactive labs. It's being used in biology and engineering labs, business courses. And as you can see, there's a lot of assessment and everything that's part of this. Now, why is that so important? Because we have very limited space on campus to accommodate students within labs. We cannot do proper supervision if we allow more students in the limited spaces in our labs. In this way, we can open up learning to new students. In this way, we can continue learning, during times like the pandemic where we have lockdowns, etc. But okay, let's think about the intelligent apps that we are all already using. So as people working in libraries and research, I'm sure you've got a whole long list that I'm not even touching on here. But yes, all the academic integrity support that we have, Citation Machine and Turnitin, etc., and the new challenges we have with making use of these apps today in terms of writing, summarizing, language easily, work across languages. Advanced style checking, just with the click of a button, change something from more casual writing to academic writing style. Then, I'm sure a lot of you are using Google or Microsoft, and within that, we have a lot of apps that helps us with making content more accessible. It's translations, it's taking it from audio, from digital ink, reading it back to you. And then, of course, in like the new apps that was added by Microsoft in virtual meetings like this, in the Teams meeting, you can turn on Speaker Coach. Speaker Coach can give you real time and post feedback on the way you talk and help you to improve. And then, of course, it's so easy now to just create visuals, to create text, to create drawings. We talked about some of the chatbots yesterday, but there are also other apps. You're probably using Canva. There are the new Microsoft Create and Designer apps that, just make it so easy to create various kinds of content. But let's think about our responsibility when it comes to all these challenges and concerns. Of course, there are a lot of people involved in thinking about this, and there are places where you can join. And I highly recommend that, as um, as peers in higher education, we take leadership and we make it clear that we are putting responsibility key and center and how we make our choices, and how we talk and how we become part of conversations. So the Responsible AI Institute also offer free membership to individuals, and also, of course, organizations. I think it's really important to take note of UNESCO's recommendations on the ethics of AI. They published a report in 2021 where they basically helped us think about the values of putting individuals, societies, and our environment first. But we can't only think about values. We really have to break it down to what are the areas where we need to look at policies, terms of use, frameworks to help all of us monitor and contribute to the ethical use of AI. And then looking ahead, these are my questions. How can AI be used to improve? And in our case, probably all of us are more in support roles. How can we support administration, research, teaching, and learning in higher education? How do we prepare for a generation of students that will grow up learning from and with AI? The way we are learning now, the way we can learn now, are fundamentally changing because we are doing it together with AI. Who takes part in the conversations and address the ethical implications at your organizations, in your country, in all the communities that you are part of? And then my suggestions of staying connected with the higher ed AI community. I suggest you, at least on top of probably everything you already do, focus on Grail. Grail is focused on the governance and research for AI leadership. SAIL is a newsletter that you can sign up for. I think George Siemens in Australia is the editor of that. The Stanford University Human-Centered AI, and of course, EduCourse, because EduCourse really helps higher education institutions optimize the impact of IT. So with all of this, my message to you is, let's do this together. We are together. There's a global South, there's a global North. I know the differences are vast, but stick together and let's sort this out and figure this out going into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Christa. You actually embrace the AI new era of looking at the time. And I think our colleagues are listening and they've picked up a few hints from you. Christa, if you can just stay online, we just want to have our second speaker Then after that, we'll then take questions. And thanks a lot for saving us 2 to 3 minutes. Arjas Kalken, are you there? Okay, goed.